Hey there, how there, everyone. It's Andrew Fazekas, the Night Sky Guy, your host every week here talking about the night sky. Thanks so much for joining me. I love seeing your comments. Do put them in the chat. It's October 10th, 2022. I hope you had a great weekend. It's a Monday, beginning of a new week. Lots of things in the sky. Broadcasting from Montreal, Canada. It's getting very autumny. The leaves are turning color. It's really beautiful where I am, and the skies are crystal clear. It's a great time to go out sky watching where I am. I don't know, did you guys get to see the Hunter's Moon last night? That beautiful full moon. On Facebook, I did a live stream showing it near Jupiter. It was just beautiful. I hope you can get to see it tonight. It'll still be fantastically beautiful. A near full moon on Monday, October 10th is good too. So if you can get out there and watch it, highly recommend it. And I've got some exciting news that I'll save for the end of the broadcast. So keep watching. Let's dive into what's in the sky this week. I'm going to turn it over to the planetarium program, and hold on. Here we go. Let's just get that in here. Let's see. Where is that planetarium program? Oh, that's why. I see. Secondary display. There we go. So, welcome. This is the sky for October 10th, 2022. I'm really excited to see that the moon is still beautifully in the sky, featured all night long, really, and it casts these amazing shadows. It's so brilliant. I live near a forest. I do evening walks with my dog, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. Highly recommend it. Just being outdoors under a full or near full moon is really magical. And so the moon, as you can see in this depiction here of the sky, it's in the constellation Pisces. So you can see the two fish that represent the Pisces constellation. And you see here the moon located right next to one of the fishes right there. But near the other fish is Jupiter, the largest planet of the solar system. So that's far off to one side of the moon. And then even farther away on the other side of Jupiter is Saturn. Now, I actually took some pictures last night. I'm going to share that on my timelines on Facebook. I'll probably post it on Instagram too. So if you're watching on YouTube, or I suggest you go over and take a look. I'll post those of what I've done with my iPhone. It's just very simple, handheld handheld, no tripod photography. And you'll see that it's easy to capture really with modern phones, these kind of beautiful lineups. And that's just one thing that you'll notice is there's a lineup of planets and the moon. That's because this is what we call the ecliptic. This is a magical line. Basically, it's the plane of the solar system. And thinking that Earth is within the solar system and we're watching all those planets, it really does make sense why they travel back and forth along this magical imaginary line, which is called the ecliptic by astronomers, or highway of the planets, I like to call it. And let me show you what I mean by this. If I magically kind of go above the plane of the solar system, if we depict what the solar system looks like tonight or today on October 10th, and how the planets are positioned. You can see we've zoomed in on Jupiter, but if I zoom out, that's Jupiter right there. And then all these other lines that you're seeing, those are all the other planets. You'll see Saturn on the right, Uranus, and there's the center of the solar system with the sun. And you can see the inner solar system planets. That's everything from Mercury to Mars depicted here at the lower center. So what's interesting, when I say the plane of the solar system or the ecliptic, you can see that all the solar, if I kind of go, this is from above, and if I go to the edge-on view of the solar system, look at that. You see that? You see that all the planets now, they're from above, you see that they're rings. These are the concentric rings, the pathway of each planet, right? So here's Saturn here on the right-hand side, right? So Saturn's pathway around the sun is represented here with this yellow line. Uranus over here, you can see the seventh planet from the sun is represented by this green line. And then Neptune way out there, the eighth planet, is represented by this blue line, right? And you can see that from above, if we look from above the solar system, you see them as consecutive kind of larger rings there. But if we kind of look at it from the edge, another alternative view is like this. Look what you see. All those pathways are kind of layered on top of each other in this particular view, right? So they're all traveling along this imaginary line, right? It's an imaginary line. Now, if I zoom in, there's Earth, right? And from our vantage point, look at that. Do you see that? From our vantage point, everything, if you're on this little green marble here, blue marble, I should say, you can see that they all travel along this, what appears to be a line. So in our vantage point, that's where all the planets are. While they are circling the sun, it's just that we are also in the solar system. We can't extract ourselves. We can imagine in an imaginary way using our animation software here. We can do that, pretend to look from above, but we really are in the plane of the solar system, and all the planets move back and forth along this imaginary line as they circle the sun. It's just our perspective here on Earth. So here we are back into our sky view, and that imaginary, you can see that line kind of moving back and forth. If I can do it another way too. I'll show the planetary orbits right there. Look at that. See, remember I was telling you about the green being for Uranus. There's Uranus right there. There's the line. And you see, that is the line that you're seeing in the sky. That's the ecliptic line. And you see all the planets, kind of most of them, there's some outliers, and I think that is Pluto. It's kind of on an incline compared to the other planets, its orbit. But look at all the other ones. Even the moon follows the ecliptic. So really, if you understand this concept, then it makes sense where to look for planets too. It's going to be along that imaginary line. Let me turn that off now. I find it a little confusing sometimes, but I hope you guys understand that now a little bit about why we're seeing the planets kind of and the moon lined up. There, we'll take that off there. So that's tonight, October 10th, Monday, and that's really the explanation of why you're seeing that. And what is really cool is you have the planet Uranus coming up here. Now check this out. If we move ahead into Tuesday, October 11th, you've got now the waning gibbous moon. We're a couple of days past the hunter's moon, the full moon, right? That was on Sunday, the 9th. So here we are on the 11th, Tuesday. And look at that. we've got this beautiful pairing of the moon and Uranus. There we go. I'll zoom in. So if you've got a pair of binoculars, this is something that you might try. That glare from that brilliant moon is going to make this difficult, but right next to it is Uranus. Now, Uranus is an ice giant. It has a lot of methane and ammonia in its atmosphere. It's cloud covered. It's many times the size of the Earth. And it's magnitude 5.7. So what does that mean? That means that it is technically visible to the naked eye if the moon wasn't there and you were in a really, really dark sky far away from the city, you could technically see Uranus. Uranus would be visible. It looks like a green colored star through with the naked eye. And you have to have good eyesight to see that. But with binoculars, it's much easier. And it'll look like a green little dot in the field of view of binoculars. Now, because the moon is next door, this is going to be really great with telescopes to spot Uranus as well. And Uranus is so far away. Get this, guys. It's 2.8 billion kilometers away. Now, what that means is that the light from this planet, that little green dot that you'll see in the sky, that light beam has traveled for 156 minutes to reach your eye. You're looking back in time, right? So you're looking back in time, well over almost 2.5 hours back in time. So when you're watching it, imagine what was I doing 2.5 hours ago? Well, that's when the light left on its journey. It's really time travel in a sense. And then of course you have the moon next to it. The moon is at a respectable distance. It's at something like 365,000 kilometers away from us. It takes light just over a second from the surface of the moon to reach your eye, just over 1 second only. So compare 1 second to 156 minutes. That's quite a difference in the distance that they are. That's how the light takes so long to get there. I'm seeing folks chiming in from Mexico, from Texas, from California. I'm getting folks from Washington, D.C. Hello, Sweden, Trinidad. Wonderful. Oh, you guys must have nice skies there. Connecticut. Really, really nice. So this is something that you guys should be able to see with telescopes, definitely with binoculars. If you try and make sure you spot that green dot next to the moon, and they won't be separated by very much space at all. In fact, let's take a look at that. We are going to be about 2 degrees apart. So what does that mean? That means that maybe similar, something like a thumb, a little bit more than a thumb's width at arm's length. So you hold your arm at your arm at arm's length, basically your hand at arm's length, your hand at arm's length, and you look at your thumb. It's about the width of your thumb, a little bit more than that. And that's really the distance of Uranus that will appear from the edge of the moon. So check that out. Again, this is going to be on Tuesday, October 11th. Wait until it gets totally dark. Wait well after sunset. So maybe a couple of hours, I would say, at least, and then start your search. And all of that's, of course, happening in the east. So you want to find a spot where you can look towards the east. This is Tuesday. And Heidi from Denmark, hopefully you'll have clear skies. This is tomorrow, Tuesday night. You might be lucky to check that out. Now, so that's really a beauty. Now, the story with the moon continues, and this is why I love talking about the moon as a guidepost. It's my favorite thing, and it makes it so easy for all of you really to follow along, I think. It makes it a lot more achievable. Now, here we are on Wednesday, October 12th on Wednesday, another great event. This time, what do we have? We've got the waning gibbous moon, really still super bright. We're talking about, around 9, 10 o'clock local time. Look where it's positioned next to. Do you see that little cluster of stars right next to it, right there? That is called the Pleiades star cluster. It's the most beautiful star cluster, and it's one of the closest star clusters to Earth. And this is actually a group of visibly about 7 stars that you can make out. If you really try and you have good eyesight, you can make out the individual stars in this tiny cluster. And it's bright enough to see with the naked eye, even from suburban, light-polluted conditions. So you're living in a big city, perhaps, and you're on the edge of the big city in a typical suburban setting. Not downtown, but in the suburbs, you could make this out. I've done it numerous times living in a suburb of Montreal, which is a city of well over 2 million people, very light polluted. And I've grown up seeing this. Even today, I can see this. And it's just gorgeous. The moon is going to be by its side. So, of course, there's going to be a lot of glare from the moon. But it's a great guidepost for finding it, the Pleiades star cluster. Check this out. It's in the constellation Taurus the Bull. So you're looking towards the east. Again, towards the east, early in the evening. If you go out later at night, like midnight, all of this stuff is going to be higher up. So if I go here, this is midnight. There you go. You see how much higher it is in the east. But, if you're more of an early person, 9, 10 o'clock, really nice. Again, this is Wednesday, October 12th. Pleiades star cluster right there next to the moon. You can't miss it. Take your binoculars, take your telescope too to see it up close. It is gorgeous. With binoculars, you can get a view sort of something like that. It's just gorgeous. And look, this is a photograph actually taken of the Pleiades star cluster. And you see all that blue haze around the cluster? That's actually some of the leftover nebula, the gas cloud, that this cluster was born. Now, when was it born? We consider these young stars like teenager stars. They're still huddled together, they come from the same cosmic nest, and they've kind of haven't wandered away from each other, which they eventually will, but they haven't yet quite done that. So what you're seeing here are these young stars, maybe, 10 to 100 million years old. Compare that to our sun, which is 5 billion years. You can see that these are youngsters, these stars. And so they're all still huddled together. And you can see that with binoculars. They'll look sort of like that. And if what's interesting, some people say it kind of looks like a miniature Little Dipper or a Big Dipper, a mini version of it. You see how they're laid out in a pattern? Here's like the handle, right? And there's the bowl right there. And you can see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stars. And try to see how many you can see with the naked eye. It's a great challenge, observing challenge, but it's a beautiful sight. And you know how far away Pleiades is? This cluster is more than 440 light years from Earth. You're looking back in time. Imagine seeing this on Wednesday night, October 12th. You're looking at it, you find it, and you're seeing the light that's traveled for over 4 centuries to reach your eye. Really incredible. And right next to it is the moon, which is a companion of Earth. What vastly different celestial objects, all huddled together in the sky on the evening of October 12th, this Wednesday. So check that out. Who do we have here? We've got Lynn saying that she's got clear skies over there at England. Wow. Okay, cool. Nicole says hello. Nice. Nicola says hello. Beautiful skies, Matt says. And Lynn is also saying clear skies. Heidi says you've got you're hoping for clear skies, I can see. That's right. Frederick, thank you very much. Thank you. It's my pleasure. I'm so happy that you're enjoying the show. And you're asking, I saw what looks like a triangle effect around Jupiter. What is that? Thank you. Very interesting. Yes. Well, it could be your local sky conditions as well. It depends on if you're looking at it with the naked eye. Definitely, you'll get a lot of atmospheric effect, even through a telescope. Some of these objects, if you're looking through a lot of haze, where I am, lots of ice crystals in the sky this time of the month causes a lot of twinkling effect, even for planets, which tend not to twinkle as much because the light beam from a planet is a lot thicker, can puncture through the atmosphere of Earth a lot better than a pinpoint of light from a star many light years away. And it can give a lot of really interesting, effects. So this is what I recommend. Do try to see this. It's such a cool site. If you go and wait another, let's see, if we look at Thursday, by Thursday, look at this. Now the moon is in the head, like at the base of one of the horns of Taurus the Bull constellation. Really, really beautiful. Again, what is it this time? Next to a bright star called Aldebaran. Now, Aldebaran is an orange giant star. It's located about 66 light years away. 66 years it takes the light to come here. And the moon is going to be very close to it. And what's really interesting, Aldebaran represents the orange, kind of like the eye of the bull, the celestial bull. And it also is marking the edge of a V-shaped pattern of stars. And you can see that right there. That marks basically the face of Taurus. And it's just one end of this V, and there's the other end is marked by a much fainter star, but Aldebaran right there. And these other stars that are scattered that form the V shape that I'm talking about, that is called the Hyades cluster. You can see that marked on the Hyades. Again, the Hyades cluster is one of those very close clusters considered, actually, I think it's is the closest or the second closest. Is right up there in the top three for sure. It's only 147 light years, and these stars are all associated with each other, but they've wandered away. Remember we were talking about the Pleiades that were way up here, above here on the screen you can see? Those are younger. These are a little bit older. They've scattered out, and yet they still are being able to kind of form this amazing pattern from our vantage point here on Earth. And it's just wonderful for sky watchers. If you're beginning sky watching, try this out. This is Thursday, October 13th. You get to see that V-shaped Hyades cluster. Easy to find. The moon is guiding you. Then you've got Aldebaran here, marking the eye of the bull too. And then try to make out that V shape. Use your binoculars to do that. It's a great thing to do if you've just got clear skies. Here's Teresa saying, Andrew, I'm in Northern California. Thank you for these videos. I'm learning watching these. I love the sky. Oh, I'm so happy, Teresa, that you're finding this useful. It's a lot of fun. And just be patient. Be patient. You have clear nights. If it's not working out tonight, you've got another night that you can work on. It's okay. Or the next night or the next week. Wait for those clear spots. And you don't have to spend hours outside, especially now, like for a place like where I am, I've got like such cold temperatures. My gosh, I'm like, -3, -4 below freezing. I may spend, upwards of a half hour at most outside. Sometimes I just go out for 15, 20 minutes, let my eyes adapt to the darkness quickly and just see what's out there, take my binoculars, not necessarily a telescope all the time. So it's a lot of fun. And so just be patient. And this is Thursday. So really, really great, a great thing to try. Now, let's move on to Friday. Now here, I'm sure you'll see where we're going with this. Friday, fantastic. I'm going to leave it on this note because the moon and Mars are going to make a beautiful pairing. Again, something that you can do with even capture with your phone or smartphone. It won't be too hard because it's bright enough. There you could see the moon. You see less of it being illuminated of the round disk. You see that? The terminator line is moving across. It's still what we call a gibbous waning moon. And look at that. It's right next to planet Mars. Just a fantastic sight, the pair together. And remember, Mars is a planet. It's a neighboring planet. We've sent robots there. We've got rovers on the surface of Mars currently doing all kinds of research, looking for water, looking for life. Just fantastic. And you can see it with your own eyes. And the moon is guiding you. And look on the other side of the moon, that bright star, that's the tip of one of the horns of Taurus, the bull. It's called Elnath. It's a star that's 134 light years away. So imagine you're looking at a star that's 134 light years away. Then you have a moon that's only 1 light second away. And then you've got Mars, which is 5.8 light minutes away. Really vastly different types of objects. Again, huddled together in one part of the sky. This is, again, Friday, October 14th. Look, there's the northeast. That's where you're going to be looking at. Just a really fantastic sight. I hope you guys get to see this. It's a lot of fun. And of course, maybe we could go and look at Saturday as well, how the moon is performing. Let's just make this an hour later. Let's say around midnight, you'll see the moon heading towards, look at this, there's Gemini and the twin stars of Gemini, and the moon will pair up, join in a beautiful triangular formation on Monday, October 17th, in the early morning. So this is Sunday night. So basically Sunday night near midnight, your local time, look towards the northeast and look for that moon, which will be about a quarter moon. And next to it is the pairing of Castor and Pollux, the twin stars of Gemini. This is late Sunday night. What a way to end the weekend. Something very beautiful. And Mars is there looking up above them over this beautiful triangular formation. Just gorgeous. Again, stuff that you can do just with your naked eyes, binoculars, and of course bringing them really close up is with telescopes as well, but you don't need them. Even with the naked eye, you could do some cool stuff, and you could do them within the city. All of these things are visible within city limits as well. You don't have to go out to the countryside. If you have just out on an apartment building, you have a balcony, that works. A rooftop, a backyard, a local park across the street, out your doorstep even. It all works. You can make it work and enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Like I said, I had an interesting piece of news. I have a new book that's being published by National Geographic. Yay! I'm so excited. I'm so honored to have my books published by National Geographic. And it was a monumental book. It's an atlas. It's called the Stargazer's Atlas. And this is the cover of it. You guys get to see it first. It's being released on October 25th. So I'd say in just a couple of weeks, it'll be released. It is a big coffee table book. It's a real atlas hardcover. And it's going to be filled with star charts for the entire sky. All 88 constellations are detailed with deep sky objects, explanations of all sky maps for both southern and northern hemispheres. So those of you in the southern hemisphere, I did not forget you guys. You guys are prominently in the book as well. So there's no ignoring of those wonderful treasures that you have in the southern hemisphere equally as in the northern hemisphere. There's also, I've had some friends, co-writers, add chapters to this atlas on astrotourism. If you want to go to destinations around the world that have an astronomical theme, ancient archaeoastronomy, ancient astronomy of ancient cultures, how you can examine them and go and visit these places, learning about the science behind all these wonderful objects that I'm talking about here. That's in here in this book as well, in the Stargazer's Atlas. Now, it's going to be published soon. I am hoping I'll be able to sell copies of this book, have them signed, and sell them signed. And I can sign them for you and dedicate them for you if you like. And I'm hoping I'll be able to have them available on my store, on my website store, in a few weeks. So stay tuned. I'm crossing my fingers I'll be able to do that. But it's going to be out and it's going to be sold everywhere books are sold. But if you want a special signed copy, a dedicated copy, then you can come to me. I'll have some available, and I'd love to have one, send one to you. So I'll have hopefully those for sale, as well as my best-selling guide, my other book, of course, my pocketbook, Backyard Guide to the Night Skies, considered one of the best sellers on Amazon worldwide right now, and it's going strong thanks to folks like you guys. You guys have been fantastic for that. Thank you so much. If you like these videos every week, hey, well then hit that notification button. Sign up for my channel, whether you're watching on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter. I'd love to see your support by subscribing to my channel and liking this video and sharing it with your friends and family. Let's get more people out under the skies, stargazing. It's such a wonderful hobby, and I love sharing my passion for the night sky that we share together. So stay tuned. There'll be a lot more stuff coming out, sky charts this week, and some photos too that I've taken. I hope you guys share your stuff. I love seeing your comments. I'll be reading them throughout the rest of the day. So get out there, watch some of this stuff. I look forward to seeing what you do as well. So until next week, as always, I wish you clear skies. Bye-bye, guys.